Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the devCodeCamp podcast. I'm Carl Peterson, devCodeCamp's social media producer. Today's guest is someone who is deeply, deeply ingrained in devCodeCamp as a whole, definitely to the staff and also to the majority of students, probably most of you watching now. And you're about to find out why. So whether you're watching this on YouTube, the video form, or your favorite podcast platform in the audio form, I'm very, very excited for this. And I'm sure by the end of this, you're going to find out why I'm so pumped. So without further ado, I have a two-parter question to kind of launch us off, which is one, what is your name and what is your job at devCodeCamp?
My name is Michael Terrill, and I am the Chief Operations Officer here at devCodeCamp.
Fantastic. And Mike, what exactly is a COO? What is your job duties look like?
So yeah, I'm responsible for the day-to-day operations here at devCodeCamp, which involves admissions, instruction, career services, and marketing as well, as you know. And also the growth and the vision of the company as we continue to grow and plan for the future.
That's great. So we'll dive deeper into that, your role and devCodeCamp as a whole and everything in just a moment. But I want to pause that, and I actually want to talk about what kind of the base of devCodeCamp, which is coding. I was kind of curious. Actually, I was really curious on what your interest with coding, like where that began. I'm always interested hearing it from students. I'm very interested to hear from you.
Yeah, for me personally, it really started, I would say, with video games, computer games specifically. I think that's where a lot of people, it definitely starts with. I think a lot of people are interested in computer games or they're playing video games. And for me, it then really spawned into how were these games created, which then evolved me using applications, right? So this goes back to the Facebook days or the MySpace days, which probably dated myself a little bit there. But really, that's where it began. And, enjoying these applications. How do these applications work? How do these computer games work? And then really spawned the idea of, applications that I thought maybe at one day I could make, ideas I had for applications. And it's one thing to have an idea, it's another to be able to bring that idea to life. So yeah, got involved in coding and really wanted to learn and understand better how to build applications and bring ideas to life.
Makes total sense. It's funny you mentioned the MySpace because that's actually where my introduction to code was. HTML, customizing the profiles and stuff. I was obsessed with it. And it's funny you said that because it made me think of, I'm curious how many people are full-time developers right now because they dabbled in their MySpace profile back in the day.
Yeah, I imagine quite a bit.
Yeah,
That was a big thing. I think that was a lot of people's introduction with HTML and CSS was MySpace, and which really did launch a lot of curiosities, which is amazing. It's
I think
super
that's
awesome.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you play a large part of devCodeCamp, obviously, as a whole, but you also have a very big hand in creating the lesson plans and exactly what is taught and how it's taught and everything that is involved with that. I was curious, kind of when you're building these lesson plans out, these courses out, what is your main goal you wish to achieve at the end of it?
Yeah, I think ultimately for all of us, it's having people learn, right? Learn the content, learn how to code. That's the big thing. So that is the objective: is how can we deliver these concepts all the way from the fundamentals of programming all up to more advanced concepts? How can we deliver in a way that is going to get people to be able to consume it and understand it and then implement it? And there are so many different learning styles out there. So it's also the challenge is delivering the content and creating the content, delivering the content in a way that does speak to so many different learning styles. And that way people can have more of that visual learning when they're looking at the stuff that we're teaching, as well as that more hands-on approach and just making it comprehensive so that people are able to learn and learn quickly and implement and bring their own ideas to life through this through coding.
That's great. So what do you think, if you were to narrow it down to one or multiple things, what do you think is the biggest value a student has by going to the devCodeCamp bootcamp?
Yeah, the biggest value I would say, is the hands-on learning. That is a big part of what we do. It is definitely not something that you find in traditional education, at least not as much as I think a lot of us would prefer. And that is the biggest value that we provide. We provide this amazing support system of instruction that are there to help you along the way and to teach you everything. But really, that hands-on learning is so important. It allows you to get that muscle memory with these different concepts. It allows you to get your hands dirty and really make mistakes while you're coding, learn from those mistakes, really build different applications piece by piece and bring them together. The project-based learning, the hands-on learning approach is very important in the growth of really anyone who's learning. But in an environment such as devCodeCamp, that is definitely quicker, definitely going to be, shrink the amount of time that you actually have to spend in your education to get to where you're trying to go as being a professional developer or engineer. The hands-on learning approach is definitely an amazing way to get you there.
So I understand with this question there's going to be some biasm in the answer, and I think that's totally fair. But I was kind of curious, if somebody was watching this or listening to this right now and was seriously considering becoming a student at devCodeCamp, what would you say to them directly?
Yeah, I would say first off, congratulations. This is a really big step. So sincerely, congratulations on deciding that this is something you want to do, whether it's, changing careers, your first career, deciding what you're going to do for your education, but really the decision that you want to do this is amazing. And what else I want to say is this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. This is an opportunity that you are going to change your life. You are going to launch a career that is going to have longevity to it. And the industry is very clear. Multiple industries are very clear where the direction of all this is going. I mean, coding being is going to be a huge part of this. So the opportunity that lays in front of you to change your life and to launch this potentially extremely successful career is amazing. And so congrats on taking the first big step in identifying as something you want to do.
I think that's great, Mike. I was curious what is the thing or multiple things, whatever it may be, but what is the main thing that makes you the most proud that your name is so closely associated with devCodeCamp?
Yeah, I would say it's the people, right? It's really the people that I've got to meet over the years. I've been doing this since 2015, and the amount of people that I've been able to meet over the years and play a part in changing their lives has been remarkable for me. And I know for a lot of others, I speak for a lot of others at devCodeCamp over the years that definitely feel the same way and would say the same thing. Yeah, it's the amount of people that we've been able to help change their lives and help them launch new careers. And it's been a joy to watch. It's been a joy to experience and be a part of their journey.
So, Mike, the boot camp was a physical location for many years, as you know, and then obviously 2020 happened, and COVID happened, and Dev Code Camp was a business like the majority of the country that was put in a situation, and we went 100% online, and we're 2 years in, and we are still 100% online. But now that we're on the other side of those challenges overall, of the initial challenges at least, I was curious, what do you think the biggest benefit that came from going 100% online? What do you think the biggest benefit of that was?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest benefit is just the amount of people that we've been able to reach. I already talked about people being a big part of what we do here and a big driving force of why we do what we do, why we want to continue doing what we do is the opportunity to change people's lives. So by going online, we've really made it possible to reach people from all over the country opposed to just a single physical location. And that also includes the staff at devCodeCamp has grown tremendously over the years, especially the last 2 years. And we have staff located all over the country. So that's been amazing. But really what it comes down to is the students that we've been able to meet and talk to and really get to watch the journeys of so many people across the country. And that journey of identifying something they want to do, identify that Dev Code Camp is the path that's going to get them to where they're trying to go, which is becoming a professional developer or an engineer. And that's been a really great joy to be able to see that on a larger scale and really seeing people come in day one of the course, just really excited to be here, excited to start their journey and watch the entirety of their journey till the very last day of the course. The amount of growth that these individual students uh, make in such a short period of time is astonishing. It is inspiring. It is impressive, is what it is. To then see those individuals who came to us with very little, if maybe even no coding experience at all, leaving devCodeCamp, of course, with the help of career services and launching their careers as developers, and really getting to the point where those same people, people that I taught, that I had played a role in from years ago, the roles that they're in present day, leadership roles, getting promoted within at these different companies, and now they're in leadership roles, and their job is to hire developers as well, and to come back to devCodeCamp and to now be able to speak to more devCodeCamp alumni and like, yeah, I know what you went through. I went through the same thing, and we're going to be awesome. It's going to be a great team, and just to give more and more people opportunities. That's been a really big part of the journey as well. So to be able to do that on a larger scale across the country has been a tremendous joy for me personally, and I can't wait to keep doing more of it.
That's great. I could definitely vouch on everything you said, but specifically two of them. One being the impressive growth that everyone has. Watching those capstone videos is definitely a real joy on our YouTube channel, and also the second thing was kind of making this small community, right, of current and past students. I remember joining devCodeCamp and seeing how many people were in the Slack general channel. And I thought it was a typo. It's like, that can't be right. Something's wrong here. It's really great, and it's also great when someone asks a question and the answers are coming from all other, from all over. It's really exciting to see personally. So
Yeah, I mean,
go
that
ahead.
goes back to just the community and the support system, right? I mean, it's just amazing whether that support system. I see when people come on their first day and they ask in the general channel, like, "Hey, it's my first day. I'm super excited. Any advice?" And just to see not just current students, but from alumni from years ago, putting in their 2 cents and their advice on, just what you need to do. Follow the process. The instructors are great. Ask a lot of questions, be prepared for the ups and downs, the challenges and the rewards. And you mentioned the capstone as well, which is one of the best projects that we do here at devCodeCamp. Just that final project that you get to experience as a student and bring your ideas to life is the crowning achievement of your success at devCodeCamp is amazing. But yeah, that community, that support system, it all plays a role into the success of devCodeCamp and the success of the individual students as well.
So, Mike, believe it or not, we're coming up on the end of this already. And I couldn't let you off the hook without a off the wall random question. And this is my fun one. Everyone gets one fun one, I think, and this is yours. I think it's only fair, especially
Sure.
because the final question that's coming up is a big one. So I was wondering if you could give me just one word response. If I'm going to go through the main departments in devCodeCamp, and I want you to give me the one word you associate them with off the top of your head. So I'm just going to go down the list here to make it easier for you. So let's start with the admissions team.
I would say determined.
Okay. And then the instructors.
Yeah, I think that's easy. That's passionate.
Okay. Career services.
Supportive.
Okay. And then marketing. Careful. Right. I see you.
I'd say creative.
Okay. That was good. You did good. I
Yeah,
was
it's
I was worried you were going to be like instructors, instructing,
yeah.
admissions, admitting. It's like,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
out of here.
Well, I think it's interesting because it's to only come up with one word is the challenge, right? And there's so many other words I would use to describe all the different departments and the people in those departments. And I would say definitely like instructors, the passion is so real and it's amazing. And but that word could be used to describe admissions and career services, right? I mean, there's their involvement with the students as well is passion and supportive, right? It goes across the board and even creative for sure, and determined. So Yeah, I think those words could really be used to be described the different departments interchangeably. But yeah, it's definitely a good challenge, and appreciate the question.
Yeah, that was great. That was good. No problem. So I told you we were leading up to a bigger last one. And it is. It's a big important question. And I couldn't not ask you this because I'm curious on what your answer would be. But also it is important in a grand scheme of things. Um, in your own words, what would you say the importance level of coding and just developers as a whole is currently and for the future?
Yeah, I mean, extremely important. It is extremely important. I think that anyone in my position or anyone that's in development would definitely say that. The way the industry is going, and not just the tech industry, but just across multiple industries here, it is getting to a point that really everyone needs to know us at some capacity. We should be teaching this at every level and every school across the country and really the world, if we're able to. I mean, starting at the elementary level into middle school, into high school, this is something that is extremely important. And yeah, I think there's a lot more that we could be doing to make sure that we are teaching people this. I think even if you're someone who isn't looking to be in development or being a software engineer, I still think there are advantages to knowing how to code. I think even if it's something that you're in marketing, well, if you're in marketing, there's a good chance that you have involvement in a website. Well, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I mean, that's something this that you're even starting to dabble a little bit here. You want to learn more because you know how important it is to your own skill set as it's evolving. And so the way the future is being set up, the way the industries are all going, it's not slowing down. These large tech companies are coming up with new and innovative ways to really for technology in general, and ways to deliver technology and way to deliver applications and to people. Whether it's just these mobile applications or web applications, but it's turning into a lot more VR and virtual reality and augmented reality. Machine learning is becoming bigger and bigger. Robotics, that's all coding. And that's just in the tech industry, but think about what everything does there, how it spawns other ideas and other applications and other jobs. So yeah, I think it's extremely important. I think everyone needs to know how to do this in some capacity. And that's why a boot camp is amazing for that. That even if it's like, I don't necessarily want to be a developer, but I do want to learn this. I know that it will set me apart from my peers in going for another job. And a boot camp is amazing because boot camps are affordable. They pack a lot of value, and it's also for just purely weeks or months. It's a lot shorter than going back to college, right? And trying to get a 4 degree in it. So yeah, it's a great alternative. So even if it's something that you're like, I want to be a developer, or maybe I don't want to, but I still want to learn it. Bootcamp is amazing avenue to do that. And obviously, devCodeCamp is a very great avenue for someone to take if they are interested in learning how to code.
Fantastic, Mike. That's the finish line. We did it.
Awesome.
I wanted to thank you so much again for making time for us to do this. It was a very knowledgeable conversation. Great insight into devCodeCamp and coding as a whole. So thank you very much. And I told the listeners at the start of this was going to be great. And I'm glad that it played out that way. Past my expectations. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody who also tuned in, whether that's YouTube, the video version or the audio version on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Once again, I'm Carl Peterson. Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time.